On today's episode of DAPA.DANIEL, this one's Plano Parkway Day. This is actually gonna be the longest road. And then they have an active right now in 1993, 3-bed, 2-bath. This road runs right parallel with George Bush. You see all these leaves? I mean, holy bajoli. So within here, you're gonna have an HOA of $295 monthly. Oh, you're gonna have a guy that's gonna back up into a car. And this is gonna be Preston Road here. So at this intersection, pretty big intersection they have set up. You got Baylor, Scott and White, Heart Hospital. So that makes sense. Okay, don't get upset at me. I know it's been a second since I've done a Plano driving tour, and I did say before that I would do this more often. I've just been busy. Got a lot of stuff going on, and these drives just take a lot of mental computing power for my brain. So this one's Plano Parkway Day. This is actually gonna be the longest road out of all the other roads that I have done a tour on, and then I will be doing. I feel like I'm a little bit off center here. Hold on, let's see. Can I get a little, let's see. This is gonna be one of the longer roads, however, not gonna be a ton of neighborhoods since this road, Plano Parkway, actually runs along President George Bush. For the most part, we are gonna go like over the Dallas North Tollway we're starting on this west side of Plano right now, but we're gonna work all the way out towards Murphy, Texas. That goes into the next city that's right on the east side of Plano. But let's just talk about this first neighborhood over on this side, which is the hills at Prestonwood. I have talked about this previously in some of my other driving tours. If you guys are just now new to the channel and haven't checked out any of the other Plano driving tours, check out those after you watch this video. It should give you a pretty good idea on what to expect for what some of the neighborhoods will look like. But maybe you're just joining this video just to kind of get a better idea on Plano, Texas, seeing what the homes look like. This is the hills at Prestonwood. This is actually connected with a golf course in here. They have an HOA of $400 annually, and then they have an active right now in 1993, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,156 square feet, currently listed at $609,000 at $282 per square foot. So you can see the aesthetic of these homes. It's really just all brick. There might be a couple with like some columns in the front. You might have some stone accents, but for the most part, it's gonna be just red or brown brick in there. Homes are gonna look similar. You're gonna have homes in there on like 50-foot lots, and then the homes that are actually on the golf course are gonna be a little bit bigger. There's gonna be more on like 80-foot lots, but still gonna have that full brick look to them, more traditional. Over on the right is Prestonwood Baptist Church, which is just a huge compound over here. It's ginormous, and then we start getting into the area where the Willow Bend Mall is as well. The road down to the left is marsh, and so after you get over, if you're traveling west down Plano Parkway, and after you get over marsh, you actually are then in the city of Carrollton. So the hills at Prestonwood is like the first kind of official neighborhood. Once you start getting into Plano from Carrollton, you have that neighborhood there. And then for the most part, there's really not going to be any other neighborhoods along Plano Parkway. It's really just going to be businesses. So I might point out some businesses here and there along the way, and then we'll be at the Dallas North Tollway here shortly. But over in this section, if you're living off the west side, and by west side I mean like west side Plano, west side of Dallas North Tollway, you're going to be around some of the like prime shopping areas of Plano and Frisco and what those have to offer. Also, the Colony is not too far away, so like Grandscape and those things. I feel like the west side of Plano has a lot more upside to it than the east side of Plano. Now, if you're an investor, east side of Plano is probably going to be a little bit more budget friendly for you and offer some options there. If you're looking at a smaller house, 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet, or maybe some duplexes as well. There are some townhomes over in this area. More townhomes are starting to get added. There's really not a bunch of new construction in Plano. There's only a few neighborhoods. I would say that there's more townhome neighborhoods getting built within Plano in residential lease neighborhoods rather than actual single family. And we'll pass by some of these new neighborhoods with the townhomes and the single family homes once we get a little bit further, more towards the east side of Plano. Over on this side, there is some new construction here and there, but it's more like apartments, condos, things like that. Over to the left is the Willow Bend Mall, which I think is like the most, I was gonna say the most slept on mall, but doesn't something have to be good to be slept on? Isn't that kind of the saying there? The Willow Bend Mall, I think it's just forgotten. Like, I think people just kind of skip over it and just go to Legacy West instead. They're going through transformations on the Willow Bend Mall. They haven't really started it. I don't see any like huge construction and things like that, but they're turning it more into a mixed-use development, which good on them. I'll say Plano is kind of updating some things. It took them long enough, but they're updating some things that I think will allow more people to kind of enjoy the areas around Plano and be okay with buying in this area. I mean, it's gonna be hard to be competing with like Frisco and Salina and all these cities up towards the north because there's so many new things. So now Plano's going back in and they're redoing all their old things to update them and make them new. Over on this side, there's really just more businesses. We would have turned left at that last light. That would have taken us along Willow Bend and then under the Dallas North Tollway. So Plano Parkway kind of starts north and south, and then it kind of makes like this like weird L shape that we're kind of going through now, and then we are then kind of going more west to east along this road. So it kind of starts more like north to south, and then it kind of winds around, and then we run under the Dallas North Tollway. Over to the right, the building there is the Ferrari and Maserati store. So over in this section, you might see some Ferraris driving around here, you might see some Maseratis. I don't know if I could ever justify buying a Maserati or a Ferrari. I think I'd have to be making like $4 million a month to justify that, but maybe one day. I'd rather have a McLaren. I mean, I'm Team McLaren. Lando Norris, I'm Team McLaren. This is the Dallas North Tollway now, so we go over it, and then up above is the entry ramp onto George Bush. So now, like I said, this road runs right parallel with George Bush. So if you're going to be living off any of these neighborhoods here, you're going to be pretty close to that. This next neighborhood is Stone Lake Estates. The HOA is $550 annually. There's no actives. We're going to jump into this one. Over to the right is the Porsche dealership over here. It's been here forever. The Audi dealership is also there as well, but you got Porsche in there. So you got some nice car dealerships just along this area. All right, let's jump into this neighborhood. So this neighborhood, Stone Lake Estates, it's gonna look pretty close to that last neighborhood with the aesthetic of the homes. Now that other neighborhood, like I said, was along a golf course. There's gonna be another golf course that we kind of run into, which is gonna be Glen Eagles. That's a little bit further up, but you can kind of see these. Now, these homes might be a little bit bigger. You got some homes in here with stucco. Like I said, it's gonna be similar to that same aesthetic. Now, with these neighborhoods too, do you see all these leaves? I mean, holy bajoli. A lot of leaves right now. We're getting into the winter time. I mean, we've been in the winter time, but now the leaves are actually falling because we're actually getting into temperatures in the 30s and 40s for the most part. We still have some of those days that's like, you know, it'll be 31 day here in Dallas, and then all of a sudden it's 82, and you're like, what's going on, Mr. Weatherman? So that's why I tell people, I'm like, all my clients that move out here, I'm like, hey, whatever it says for next week, it's the opposite. So if it says it's going to be 30, just know next week it's going to be raining and it's going to be a humidity and it's going to be 60. So it's kind of just how the weather works around here. It's kind of wacky. All right, so that was just a little bit of Stone Lake Estates. Fairly big neighborhood in there. And then the next one is going to be Kings Court of Willow Bend. HOA is going to be $1,300 annually, and there's no actives in there. And this is going to be the one over here to the left that I'm not going to jump into, but a little bit bigger of homes in there. I mean, it's got to be big homes. If they're calling it Kings Court, there's got to be some big homes in it, right? So a little bit bigger on those homes in there. And then over to the right, once again, just more offices, not really retail. This is all just like kind of just random office space, random businesses in here. Shepton High School is over to the left on this side, kind of go over this creek. There's some golf courses along here. This is where more of the golf course. Is this Glen Eagles? I don't think that's Glen Eagles. I don't know. I don't play on a lot of golf courses, so I'm not really up to date. I got to get my golf game going. Top Golf is solid right now. That game is good, but I got to get my real golf game going. Shepton High School is over to the left. And then this whole road is a 3-lane, so it's really easy to kind of go back and forth and drive down. So if you're going to be living off of it, I think it is relatively nice that you're living off this, and you're only about a light away for the most part to George Bush. So if you do have to commute out to the airport, down to Love Field, maybe you have to go into Dallas, not a bad area to be living off of. And for the next neighborhood is Old Shepherd's Place. HOA in here is $560 annually, and then it kind of just blends in with Shepherd's Glen, and there's no HOA within there. So let me hop into this neighborhood. neighborhood. These homes, once again, still gonna kind of look the same. They're gonna be a little bit smaller than what Stone Lake Estates and Kings Court is, which some of these might be some good investment properties. There are gonna be a few leases in here, and by a few, I mean there's gonna be quite a bit of leases in here. But here's what these homes look like. So once again, pretty basic, standard. Got a lot of one-story within this neighborhood, I feel like, more than two-story homes. Now, some of these front of the homes are gonna look like they're one-story, but they actually bump up and they turn into a two-story. But I don't mind these. I like the look of these. I think these look good. But yeah, Old Shepherd's Place and Shepherd's Glen are right by each other. They kind of just go into, and then you can see the size of the trees in here is just wicked. Looks really pretty during the fall time with these leaves. I mean, look at this red tree. That looks really pretty. Got some pretty trees going on in here. All right, now this is also Old Shepherd's Place that we're in. And then is this, I'm trying to figure out how to get out of the neighborhood. Let's go this way. And they also got alleyways in here, so you can see there's no garages in the front. Garages are all in the back of the homes. But these homes in here, 1990s, for the most part, maybe some early 2000s. Okay, and then the next road that we're gonna end up going over is gonna be Preston Road. Back onto Plano Parkway, and then this is gonna be Preston Road here. So at this intersection, pretty big intersection they have set up. You got Baylor, Scott and White, Heart Hospital, also the regular hospitals over there, emergency rooms. That's the huge hospital up along President George Bush Turnpike that you see if you're driving out maybe towards like Saxe or Wiley, going out towards the east. At this intersection, it's really just some gas stations, coffee shops. You got Taco Bell, you got a bank, and then a little bit further down is where some more of the fast food restaurants and other retail is, up along Parker Road. So we'll go over Preston, and then there's gonna be quite a bit of apartments. I'm not gonna really touch on those, but just know that if you are looking for apartments, there's gonna be quite a bit of options along Plano Parkway, which, you know, if you're looking at apartments, I would recommend the apartments that are along the Dallas North Tollway or along George Bush. That way, you know, you're kind of around some type of amenities. There's not really a ton of amenities in the center of Plano, so you're gonna kind of just be at an apartment complex and that's it, rather than something where, you know, you could be at Legacy West, be at an apartment complex there, and then drop down, you have all those amenities. Same thing around here with that idea. It's like, you know, you could be at the apartment complex and it's not really a mixed use development, but at least you got some other things kind of around you in the area to be able to go enjoy, or at least get onto the tollway system and be able to go out to things relatively quick and not have to sit in a bunch of different lights. So you can see a little bit of the hospital over to the right. You can see those buildings. There is like a hotel kind of in front of it, a La Quinta. La Quinta? La Quinta. I think where's my Duolingo at? La Quinta. Okay, more apartment complexes, some other hotels, and then this next neighborhood is Preston Point over to the left here. So this one's gonna have an HOA of $460 annually. They have an active 1988 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,097 square feet, currently listed at $530,000 at $252 per square foot. That's the neighborhood that is up along here with the red brick. And then I'm gonna go into Prestondale, which is the one over from, this is Ohio here that we're going over. And then, where's Prestondale? Did I pass Prestondale? I think I passed it. That's El Dorado Park Community. Just some older homes in there. Nope, and then this is Windmere. Okay. So anyways, Prestondale, I passed it. Prestondale, HOA, nothing, active, 1985, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,139 square feet. Currently listed at $499,000 at $233 per square foot. So that's what that looks like. And then this is gonna end right here, so I gotta get over. Look alive, y'all. And then Windmere was right on the corner here over to the left. I can't get over there now because all these cones. So they're going back into Plano Parkway right now. So you've seen this from my other videos. If you see my driving tour, Plano's like updating their roads, which I don't even know how long this is gonna take with things. It's kind of just a big debacle. So commute times in the mornings, at least for like probably the next 6 months to a year, are gonna be something like that, where it's kind of frustrating and just looking like that with the cones and everything. But like I was saying, Windmere was that other one up along there, and the HOA in there is $325 annually, and there's no actives in that neighborhood as well. This next road is Coit Road. This is also getting close to UTD, so I think that, you know, if you're a college student and you're thinking about renting out of some place and you're with some buddies, or you're doing your masters and you're trying to find a place to rent, once you start getting closer to Preston Road is really close to the university, or once you start getting to Coit Road, really close to the university. So this wouldn't be a terrible area to be able to kind of be at and rent from. Over to the left is John Paul II. Next is some car dealerships up along here. There's some businesses, nothing serious. And then let's hop into this one, because like I said, now we're getting to like where the new construction is. So we're getting more towards the east side of Plano. We're kind of in the middle now. All right, and this over here is going to be the Villas of Middleton. So let me just show you this one. This is gonna be Megatel, which as a builder, they're a builder. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So within here, you're gonna have an HOA of $295 monthly. Oh, you're gonna have a guy that's gonna back up into a car. He has no idea I'm here. He's got no clue. Yep, just blowing some leaves. All right, so here it is. These are the Megatel homes, townhomes, and then they have an active in here, a 2023 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,903 square feet, listed at $550,000 at $289 per square foot. So there's no amenity center in here. You're just gonna have like some walking trails, small pavilions. I will say the good thing with this neighborhood, the one good thing, is that these townhomes come with a backyard. So sometimes these townhomes don't come with a backyard. And then they also added some of this parking, which I really like. That's the other frustrating thing. It's like, you know, if you want people coming over and you want to have like a little party, a little soiree, a little get together, whatever the case may be, this is going to offer it to be able to like have enough people be able to park and have their own spots and not being, you know, not having to park in front of like your neighbor's house or something. I don't know. I just run into some of these townhome communities, and it's like you don't leave any parking for, you know, your buddies to come over. So that's kind of the frustrating thing sometimes. Okay, back onto Plano Parkway. This is Independence we're on. We're now on the Plano Parkway. So that neighborhood there is at the intersection of both those roads. And then if we went left down Independence, you'd probably be 15-20 minutes from getting into the Frisco area. All right, this next neighborhood, another new construction neighborhood. Now this is CB Jenny. CB Jenny, I do like as a builder. Megatel, you know. So CB Jenny, I am a fan of. Just more title company, random dentistries, pediatric, you got some preschools, got some bigger businesses. This is actually the old Perot office. This used to be Perot Systems, and then when Perot sold it, he then sold it to Dell, and then Dell sold it to NTT. Now it's or maybe Dell didn't sell it, or they left. I don't know. Something happened here, but this used to be the old Perot place. The only reason I know that is because that's where my dad used to work. So, and they're kind of just tearing that whole thing down. All right, so this next road here is Custer, and if we go right, we're like a minute away from George Bush. So once again, this is just another section where, like I said, if you're going to UTD, And I just mentioned that because that's where I went, so I know I'm pretty familiar with this area and kind of what's going on. So I've had some people jump on the channel and ask me questions because I do some of those college campus driving tours, which I gotta get on another tour. I gotta do TWU. And I got kind of lazy with the college campus driving tours, because that's the other thing. I want to add more driving tours. I just still want to focus on the real estate side of things, but I just know you guys really like driving tours. It's kind of like a weird thing. I feel like I have some people on the channel that really like the driving tours, some people that really like just neighborhood tours, and some people that just like the home tours. So I'm trying to appease everyone. Okay, this neighborhood here is going to be Heritage at Creekside. This is the west side. The HOA is $255 monthly. They have an active in here, a 2023 3-bed, 2.5-bath, 1,718 square feet. Currently listed at $479,000 at $279 per square foot. So this is what the homes look like in here. So with these townhomes, I like the builder, and this is where the compromise goes. I like the builder in here, but these homes don't have backyards to them, right? So I think those are just kind of the compromises you're gonna have to make sometimes. It's like, okay, you get maybe a little bit of a better builder, but you don't really get a backyard. And I think a backyard, like personally, I would take the backyard with the worst builder rather than the better builder, in my opinion. But like I said, it depends on what's most important for you, because like townhome with a backyard in it is going to offer some really good resale value. I wish I could show you the front of the houses. It's just a whole bunch of back of the houses right now. So that's not really going to help you guys. Hold on, let's go out here. But yeah, this is like a mixed use development. They do have some restaurants that are a little bit further on the east side. Let me go here. This way. Just want to show you what the front of these homes look like. So this is what they look like, which they got kind of a cool aesthetic to them. Not too bad. So that's what those look like. All right, let's just jump back onto Plano Parkway. I mean, for the most part, we're almost done with this one. So this drive actually hasn't been too much of a headache, I feel like. I don't know, I just get into some of these other neighborhoods. I get into some of these other driving tours, and it's just like neighborhood after neighborhood after neighborhood, and it's just like, oh my goodness. But like I said, not gonna be a ton of neighborhoods along here, because mostly Plano Parkway is just like a business. It's mostly just like a bunch of businesses up along here. And I know what you might be saying. You might be saying, Daniel, you have a protected lane. You can just go. Well, no, I can't, because this protected lane kind of ends really quick, and I just want to make sure I have enough space to get the old Lexus over. All right, so the other neighborhood I'll just mention is on the opposite side, and that is the Dallas North Estates. We're not going to jump into that one because it's a little bit further back, but just know there's the Dallas North Estates there. They have an active 1968 3-bed, 2.5-bath, 2,055 square feet, currently listed at $565,000 at $274 per square foot. So you can kind of see at $274 per square foot within a single family lot, you get a 1968 over here, or you can buy a 2023 townhome with no backyard for $279 per square foot. So that's kind of what that looks like. Over here is Heritage Creekside shopping and restaurants. Like they just got more like, you know, some taco joints, rodeo goat, and then you got some other just smaller businesses. And then once we start heading into like Murphy, don't do Alexis, don't do Alexis. Oh, he did it, he did it, he did it, he got it. You got it. No worries. Once we start getting into Murphy, it gets into more like industrial, like buildings and 18-wheelers and all that stuff is kind of over on this section of things up along George Bush. So the roads are a little bit more beaten up on this side of things. But this is another shopping area once you get to 75 Highway. So we'll be going over 75 Highway here. The DART train is over on this section, but this is another relatively good area, though. The aesthetic of the buildings over here is just gonna be older. It's just gonna have some older character to it, right? These places have been around here for a hot minute. So just know if you're living more on the east side, it's gonna be just a little bit of an older feel than kind of where we started this video at, around Willow Bend. Okay. Then we're going over 75 highway here. And then this is where the DART train goes through. So sometimes you might get held up around this area just because the DART trains pass through. Now the DART train doesn't really take that long to pass through because it's not really a big train system. But just know if you live on the east side of 75 highway, there might be moments where you're having to wait for the DART train in the mornings or at noon or in the afternoon when you're kind of commuting around to places. Here's those 18-wheelers I was talking about. So they're right on cue. So like I said, over in this section, you're gonna find like more 18-wheelers just because of like industrial stuff and deliveries. Okay, this guy's getting over. He wants it. He wants it more than me. Make a decision, bro. Okay, so once again, they're going back in and fixing some of the roads and medians up along here. Got some more apartment complexes. Here's the DART train up here. This is K Avenue that we're about to be going over. And K Avenue would take you all the way up into Allen as well. So we're more on that side of things now. So we're over by Wiley, Murphy, Allen, Texas. And then you can kind of see the look at these buildings and, you know, a little bit of an older feel to them. All right, so that's K Avenue that we're going over. And then just some more buildings, auto body shops all along here. So that's kind of the zoning over in this side of things. Let's see, what else is there? There's supply companies, got some storage, tile stores, at-home distribution centers. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like a bunch of distribution centers over on this side. So the roads are just a little bit more beaten up. I think that's just because of the bigger trucks and 18-wheelers kind of driving around this section of things. Okay, and then a little bit further is once we start getting into more neighborhoods. So really no residential stuff along Plano Parkway for the most part here, not till we get over Los Rios. There's an RV storage. What else is there? Just some other random businesses. Got a Wells Fargo bank up here. And then we're basically getting into Murphy, Texas. We're almost there. Some more gas stations, cabinets to go, a glass store, Waffle House. Just pointing out some of the businesses, you know. All right, let's see. This is Jupiter Road that we're going over now. I got a car wash on this intersection, Granger, the auto shop. Yeah, so just a bunch of those types of businesses along here. Not really like your nice retail stores that you kind of want to be around. All right. I really didn't realize it was going to be this long before we got to another neighborhood. And they got this all types of zigzags. Oh my goodness. All right, just know that if you're planning on looking or buying over in this section, that it's going to be kind of frustrating at times with the amount of road construction that they're doing right now over on this side of things. Okay, this is Shiloh Road over here, so maybe you've been keeping up with me if you have been looking on a map as we've been driving down Plano Parkway. the traffic's not bad right now because I'm doing this at 12:30, so you can kind of imagine what this would look like probably around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock with them having to put all that stuff down to one lane. Which it's been like that for a minute, so I think it's gonna be another hot minute before they get all that completed. All right, we're going over Shiloh Road, and then you can still see a bunch of these distribution centers, bigger industrial centers over here. And then I think we're almost to Hudson Heights. That's gonna be the next neighborhood. I don't know if I'm gonna jump into that one, we'll see. There's no actives in there. There's also no HOA. So this next one is Los Rios. And then there's the neighborhood. Okay, beautiful. So there's Hudson Heights over on the right side. So now that we get to Los Rios, and Los Rios then turns into North Star. But going right would take you into like the Richardson area. So we'll jump into this neighborhood because these homes actually look a little bit different than kind of what we've been previously looking at. Homes in here are a little bit more new. So probably gonna like these homes a little bit better than some of those other homes. Now, in Kings Court over in Plano, those are still some nice homes in there. I think Shepherd's Glen had some nice homes with curb appeal. Okay, here's Hudson Heights. And then these homes are probably sitting on like 55 to 60 foot lots within here. So pretty basic look of them, but a little bit different than some of those other older ones. More of these homes are like 2010 in here. And then they have a small little pool amenity area, which is nice. So it doesn't look like they have a workout room, but there's some pavilions and a small pool. I would say this is a decent sized neighborhood. It's not like a huge master plan community, but it is planned out fairly well. Okay, and then let's get on to this. Harrington Mills is the next one. HOA in there is gonna be $325 annually. It's gonna be a little bit further down. So Hudson Heights actually goes onto the other side. I think they do have an HOA. I might be wrong on that. I'll post up if I was wrong on that. I look at the MLS and whoever had an old closed listing did not have that. So they were showing nothing for their HOA, which might be wrong. All right, Brookshire Place over to the left. Harrington Mills is here over to the right. Brookshire Place is just gonna be townhomes. Not really gonna be talking about that. Older townhomes. This is Harrington Mills. And within here, $325 annually. There's no actives currently. And these are older grand homes. Like, I just know. I know from looking at the windows, like I wasn't doing real estate back in the day when they were building out this neighborhood, but I just know that these are grand homes. Like, I'm almost like 1,000, 10,000% sure. Because some of them look okay and some of them just look funky, but they have those white frame windows again, which I mean I don't hate. It just depends on what brick they're popping off of. And then if you need a sofa right now at this intersection, there's a sofa there, so maybe that maybe you could add that to your media room. All right, that's Harrington Mills for the most part. Definitely some bigger floor plans in there. So if you're looking at over 3,000 square feet, Harrington Mills is going to offer that, although those homes are just a little bit older. But really not as old as some of the other ones. I mean, we've been going through neighborhoods with homes in the 1970s, 1980s, so maybe a little bit fresher over here with some neighborhoods. Not all neighborhoods. There are still going to be some old things. There is a railroad track that runs on the back side of Harrington Mills, so just kind of keep that in mind too. Okay, and then the next one is going to be Malibu Estates. HOA is going to be nothing. or at least that's what it showed. There might be an HOA. I don't know if whoever listed the homes that I looked at that were closed previously, they might have had that wrong. So here is Malibu Estates, which I like the look of these. These don't look bad. So smaller neighborhood. Some of these homes are gonna have some pretty legit retaining walls on the back side, within the backyard of the home. And then they kept this tree line here. So some of these homes actually might get some good privacy, but there is that railroad track that runs behind it. Okay, there's another golf course there. There's been about 3 or 4 golf courses along Plano Parkway that we've gone down. Okay, let's see. So that's Malibu Estates. And then if we go just a little bit further, there's a extra space storage. And then I think back around here should be Heritage Ridge. They'll be kind of hidden back behind these trees over here. Okay, this is Heritage Ridge. All right, there we go. All right, so this is the last neighborhood. So within here, there's going to be an HOA of $900 annually, and then they do have an active a 2023 4-bath, 3,399 square feet, currently listed at $958,000 at $281 per square foot. So you can see these. They're still building out this neighborhood. I feel like this neighborhood's been building since like 2017. They still have some lots available within here, but for the most part, it is completed. There are some homes with fairly decent backyard space, not the biggest backyard space, but you might have some privacy. They got this model home just like all by itself, but you have like a wooded area behind here. And then I believe there is still one part of this neighborhood that still has some of the railroad tracks running behind it. Not directly behind it, but I feel like if a train went by, you might be able to notice it. But here's just another grand home neighborhood, and this is like the only neighborhood that's building new construction for like these size homes right now. So at $958,000, I don't know, I think maybe if you're working over here, of course, but you know, for $958,000 you can get a pretty nice house on over in Frisco or Salina, or no, it's gonna be a little bit older. This isn't like newish construction in here. So okay, and then it just goes down into what, like a rental community over on this side? Yeah, so it goes down into some type of rental community there, and then there's the railroad track I was talking about, so it doesn't quite back up to it, but it's kind of close. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions about Plano or buying within a Plano market, please send me a text or give me a call. Would love to work with you and your family on your home search. Other than that, peace out, y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me, Daniel, at the Home Expert Team. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that, bye.